We're now joined by the South Regional Champion North Carolina Tar Heels head coach Roy Williams and student athletes Luke Maye, Justin Jackson, and Kennedy Meeks. Just like before, please raise your hand. We'll pass the microphones around, state your name and affiliation, and ask your question. We'll begin with an opening statement from Coach, and then we'll take questions just for the student athletes only first. We'll dismiss them and then continue on with Coach. Coach, whenever you're ready, please.
Well, it's a fantastic feeling right now. Second half, we got off to a bad start, turned it over a couple of times. They make shots, and all of a sudden they tie the score, and we make 2 or 3 shots and get back up. And then it was hit or miss all the way down the stretch, and then all of a sudden we're 5 down, and we have the timeout. And I told them that same thing it was against Arkansas, that I told us that time that it was going to be good for us, and I felt like it'd be good for us today. What we had to do is we had to play. We got to get a great shot. Theo made a tough shot, runner on the baseline far across from our bench, and then Justin made a tough one. And believe it or not, we went zone, just tried to see if we could give them a different look. They were getting too much dribble penetration and 2 or 3 possessions, and they didn't score. And then we make some good plays. Luke Maye was sensational and making baskets for us, made the big pass down court to Justin for the layup. Theo made some big free throws. Luke made some big free throws, and we're still sitting here. They scored it tied. We've always say if it's more than 6 seconds, we're going to attack. We're not going to call a timeout. It was 7.2, I think, when they scored, and I was just screaming, go, go, go. And Theo goes down the court and finds Luke, and Luke made a big-time shot. You know, we played them twice this year, and it went down to the last few seconds both times. One of them was a scoring offensive game. Today was an ugly game, but we made enough shots at the end. Feel great for these kids, and didn't know anything about this water routine in the locker room, so right now I'm soaking wet, but it's the best daggum bath I've ever had with my clothes on.
Questions for our student athletes, second row on the right here.
Myron Metcalf, ESPN. Luke, can you just walk us through that final play and you know, what your mindset was as you were setting up for the shot?
Yeah, they made the big 3. Monk hit it over my hand, and then Theo just drove down court and kind of was penetrating towards the basket and kind of picked my man a little bit, and I just kind of stepped back and gave me the ball, and I just shot it, and luckily it went in, and it was a great feeling. I thank my teammates so much and my coach for putting me in that situation, and I'm just very blessed to have this opportunity.
Okay, I see 3 lined up here. Back row on the left.
Josh McKinney, WYMT in Hazard, Kentucky. For Kennedy and Justin, a 2-part question. Can you talk about the game plan to make things difficult for Bam? And then did you expect for Isaac Humphries to play the way he did, even though you all were so effective on Adebayo?
I feel like our main objective coming into the game was to play him straight up, wall when he got the ball inside, and try to do our best job of boxing him out because he is a strong guy and he does a tremendous job of hitting the boards. And as the big man, I think we did a tremendous job of executing that game plan. We did a great job of running down the floor like Coach asked us to do, posting up, setting screens for our teammates to get them open. And for Humphries, he's a great shooter. He definitely, you could tell he works on his shot all the time, and he hit some big-time shots for them to go up. So not taking anything away from them, but I think we did a great job of execution and being a great defensive team.
Justin, anything to add? Good?
No, I mean, I never really guarded him, but, I mean, Humphries, he hit some big shots whenever they went on that run. So, I mean, hats off to Kentucky. That's a great team with a lot of young guys, and for them to be in that scenario and, you know, against a team like us that's a little more mature, you know, hats off to them. But I love these guys. You know, I wouldn't trade this coaching staff, these knuckleheads of brothers that I got. You know, I wouldn't trade them for anything.
Okay, we'll go second row on the left here and then to the back.
Kiara Luck of Raleigh & Company. Justin, Twitter went on fire when you were talking to Malik. Like, literally everyone's saying they haven't seen you so aggressive. What do you say to that? And I'm sure when you get back, they're going to talk about it. You being so aggressive on the court and just out there just talking trash.
It's just a little friendly banter. You know, Malik's a great player. And, you know, for me, I was assigned the duty of trying to slow him down a little bit. And so, you know, you can get fired up a little bit. And, that's rare for me. But at this stage and at this point of the season, I feel like there's really nothing that you should keep in.
Back row, almost right in the middle.
Terry Davis, Tri-State defender. Did you take it as a personal challenge when he scored 47 against you guys last game to not let him take over the game this game?
For me, I knew he's a great player, so I tried to slow him down and limit his touches as much. I'm sure when the coaches go back and look at film, there's going to be a lot of bad defenses of no helping. But, for me, I just tried to limit his touches as much as possible because once you let him, get it going a little bit, it's hard to stop him. So, for me, that's all I was really trying to do. And like I said before, there's no reason to try to keep anything in, so I just tried to stay on him as much as possible.
Anything else for our student athletes? Okay, we'll go one more right here, second row on the left.
Kiera Locke again from Raleigh Company. This is for Justin again. When you two were cutting down the nets, you were telling Luke, where were you at when we were struggling? And you also said that without struggle, there is no success. So tell us what you meant by that and saying that to Luke at that time.
I didn't know y'all were, man. But, yeah, Luke was in there a whole lot with me over the summer. And, anytime there were some days that we would go in there and it felt like we couldn't throw it in the ocean. And we would always say, there's no success without struggle. For us, that's what kept us going over the summer. And I think Luke is a testament of that. I don't think Luke has put together 2 games like this all season. And it just shows with hard work you can continue to play and you can be a great player. So, that's kind of what the background of that is. And I'm happy for this guy.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll go ahead and continue on with Coach. We'll start here, second row on the far left, and then we'll work our way backwards.
Nancy Armour, USA Today Sports. Roy, I know you said yesterday that last year wasn't what was driving these guys, but obviously their group text some of the things that they said. How much does it mean to you to see them be able to get back and have a chance to finish what they couldn't do last year?
It's last year was a heartbreaker to say the least, and to have someone like Marcus and make that kind of shot. And I even told Michael at Jordan after the game, I said, if we'd have gotten it into overtime, your shot to beat Georgetown would not have been the most famous shot in basketball history at North Carolina any longer. And so it was a heartbreaking thing, and but you have to congratulate Villanova. They made a big-time play, and it doesn't help your hurt any. And I did try to challenge the kids in the locker room that night. Later in the next couple of weeks, Isaiah Hicks tried to take blame for the shot, and it wasn't even his man. He was trying to help somebody else guard. And so one of the few times, maybe the only time I've ever had a post-season press conference like that, but I did it because Isaiah was taking the blame. And that just tells you the kind of kids that I have. And I'm, as coaches, we're really lucky a lot. And I was lucky to have the group that I had last year, and it hurt a great deal. I still have never watched the game. Probably never will watch the game. So I wanted them to get back because so many of these guys played in that game. And you may have heard me say before, the most inadequate feeling I've ever had as a coach was what to say to my kids in the locker room that night. And so for those reasons, yes, but it's not just redemption. I had a neat thing because Marcus Page FaceTimed Eric Hoots, and so I yelled at Marcus a little bit off the court there, and he was so happy for us. But I'm really happy for this team and the work that they've put in, the toughness that they've shown, and they're wonderful kids.
We'll go second row on the right here, and then we'll swing it to the left.
You're down at Meyer Metcalf ESPN when you're down 64 to 59. What was the attitude of the guys, on the benches there trying to fight back?
Well, at the timeout, I didn't like the look on their face, so I started yelling at them. But I was trying to yell a positive message. This last week I said in the Arkansas game we were down 5, and this is going to help us because we're going to come back and let's get the best shot we can and then try to guard and then get the best shot we can and try to get a defensive stop. And I said it worked out that we've got the same situation. You have shown that you can do this. And so I tried to be really positive with them at that point. And they reacted admirably, to say the least. Theo made a tough shot, and then Justin really made a tough shot. But with that, we got 2 straight stops on the other end, and then Theo goes to the free throw line and makes 2 big free throws. So They made some plays, but at that timeout, I didn't necessarily like the look on their face at that time, no.
I see 4 lined up here. We'll go back row on the left.
Josh McKinney, WYMT in Hazard, Kentucky. Cal said he felt fortunate that his team was only down 5 going into the locker room with their foul trouble and the limited minutes. Do you think that your team left a lot of points on the board in the first half and that maybe you should have been up more?
Yeah, but it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any difference. I jumped them a little bit at halftime because I said in a stretch there we took 2 bad shots. We turned it over 3 times and we missed, I forget now, 4 or 5 free throws. And Kentucky's pretty doggone good. So we allowed them to get back in the game closer. But they were going to be there. I mean, they're tough kids. John does a great job. They're tough kids. So we knew they were going to be there. We weren't going to just run away and hide from them. And why did we turn it over? Because they played harder. Why did we miss shots? Because they were better defensively. And I don't coach John's team by any means, but when he took De'Aaron out and Malik out with the fouls, the people they put in were better defensive players. And that's, I'm not trying to cut down De'Aaron or Malik or anything, but those kids stole the ball from us a couple of times. They were aggressive. I shouldn't say better defense players. The group that he had there were more aggressive defensively during that stretch. So they caused us to do that. But, you know, it's part of the game. I've never felt like that 1 4-minute stretch was going to win or lose the game.
Front row, far right.
Brett Friedlander, North State Journal. Roy, I apologize if you've been asked this before, but the stretch that Stillman played in the first half, was that because Joel was in the locker room, or did you plan on playing him today? And then how important was that couple of minutes? He got 2 fouls on Fox and made that move on Monk and scored.
Well, if he hadn't dropped the ball out of bounds there, he would have had a great time during that couple of minutes. But, yeah, Joel, you know, and let's talk about Joel Berry a little bit. I mean, guys, he played 30, if I can find it here, 33 minutes. Last week he sprained his ankle. We didn't say anything about it yesterday at practice. He sprained his ankle again. It was the longest 10 minutes I've ever had in practice when he went off the court with our trainer. I walked back there one time and then came back out. And then what did he do early in the game today? He sprained his other ankle. And to play 33 minutes with that toughness, and he can really shoot the ball. So he's 0 for 5 because he couldn't push off there. So he kept driving the ball to the basket and making tough shots. But, yeah, when Joel went out and then Seventh went in, Seventh had a nice assist, but he made 2 fouls in 1 minute. And I don't like to play anybody that quickly as soon as they make a second foul. So we've talked because Stillman, we have more confidence in Stillman than probably the typical fan thinks. And he got in there and did a nice job.
We'll go back row, standing up, and I think we'll have time for 2 more.
Terry Davis, Tri-State defender. On that last game winner, even though you didn't call a timeout, was that a design play by your team, or was that something that you allowed your team to go to what the defense gave you?
A little bit of both. As I said earlier, if it's 6 seconds or more, we try to push. If it's 5 seconds or less, we'll call a timeout. I had a timeout left, but I like to try to score in the open court, and we practice that way every day. Believe it or not, we have practices where we play with a 15-second shot clock because I want them to push the ball hard enough to get a great shot in 15 seconds, not just throw it up. We've won a few games like that. I've been around a long time, and we do try to push, and Theo made a heck of a play. And I was really glad the ball went to him because I didn't know how hard Joel would be able to push.
Okay, we'll go Nancy here, and if we have time, we got 1 more.
Roy, you
Yes,
mentioned
Nancy.
Joel that was there any way he wasn't coming back into the game today, and what is his prognosis for the next couple days?
Yes, there was a way because if Doug had said he's done, he was going to be done. But I didn't think that Joel was going to let that happen. I didn't talk to him when I took him out and sent him to Doug. I didn't talk to him at all, see what it was, and then Doug came back and said he's okay and that he wanted to try it. And so I watched him as closely as I could possibly watch, and it looked like he was moving okay. Where it really affected him was planting his feet and going up to shoot the ball. So I thought he was okay and tried to give him 1 break around the 5-minute mark, and I think I got him right back in. But I've said it affectionately, not as any kind of criticism. He's a tough little nut, and I mean he's out there with both feet, not feeling real good. Even when we got on the court and they were jumping around, and then when they were doing the alma mater and everybody was stomping their feet, the 2 of us were standing beside each other. I said, "I'm not stomping." He said, "I'm not either." He's got 2 bad ankles. I got 2 bad knees.
Let's finish up with 1 more on the far right.
Hey, Roy, it's Mark Bradley from Atlanta. Has it sunk in that you guys just won a regional on something like the same play you just lost a national championship on last year?
One of the kids said something about that, Mark, as we were going to the locker room. But he also said something about Kentucky because Malik made that big three when we played Kentucky in Vegas earlier. And same scenario, you think about this, in the Kentucky game, we missed a free throw. And Malik goes down and makes a big one, and we miss a free throw tonight, and they go down and make another one, but we still have time ourselves to get a shot off. But, yeah, one of the kids said something about it. And, you know, at first I thought he was talking about the national championship game, and then I started thinking I didn't know which one he was talking about, and it was one of those great Southern expressions. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a. I didn't care what he was talking about.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank
and
you guys very
congratulations.
much.
Thank you, everybody, very much. And one final announcement. The media room will remain open for 4 more hours, so that will put it at approximately 11:20 p.m. for closing. Thank you very much, everyone.